Hi everybody, this is a red, black, and green Arcane Bombardment deck. We use Arcane Bombardment to reuse all the spells we've been playing in the early turns of the game. We've also added in a couple of extra treats here. We've got Ziatora's Envoy to play some extra cards off the top and to be a big threatening creature. And we're also playing 4 copies of Unleash the Inferno to take care of creatures and all the enchantments and artifacts we see running around Standard right now. Let's go see a few games with this deck over on the ranked Standard ladder. All right, let's get into it here. Of course, we're starting off with a lovely 2-lander. Got to play with fire, though, so I think we might be all right. Opponent's starting off nice and fast with a Phoenix Chick. We're going to go Karplusan Forest here. Luckily, we picked up our trusty 3rd land off the top. All right, 2nd Phoenix Chick. Not the fastest start. Usually got to worry about Monstrous Rage going on one of these, but if we're lucky, we can use one of these Into the Fires to clean things up. Got lots of individual removal in here. There's a Godric. Alright. Well, since Godric doesn't fall under Into the Fire, let's go ahead and Lightning Strike that right now. Godric is down. Opponent's tapped out. Just down to 14 from that attack. Alright, let's go for Into the Fire here. 2 damage to everything. That should put the slowdown on our opponent a little bit. Follows up with a Kumano faces Kakazan. A Chandra dressed to kill. That's a nice include in there.
You know what's great at dispelling
It looks like, if my reading is correct, Riveteers Charm can handle Chandra over there.
I'd love to.
Yes. Believe that's what we want to do. Let's target our opponent with that. And we gotta pay a little bit of life to do that. Hold on. Yeah, let's go with Rockfall Vale first. I think that's okay. We can always play the Proving Ground next turn, and it won't slow our progress towards Bombardment down too much. We can still get ourselves to 6 mana on time. Okay, opponent's digging deep for the burn here. Lightning Strike brings us down to 8. Let's get the Proving Ground on the ground. Unleash the Inferno here is an instant. So we could play a 2nd creature. We could use the rest of the Inferno ability to take care of the enchantment that is etching. But they've got a Monstrous Rage. Let's just go play with fire here. Get a little 2-for-1 as they try to buff up the monk. Let's get down land number 6. And Into the Fire is a sorcery. Let's use this for the kind of pseudo card draw ability. I'm going to put Unleash the Inferno away since I don't think it's going to have many more targets. We pick up a Tear Asunder and a Rebuild the City. Only got 1 copy of Rebuild the City in here from my memory. Let's see if we can use that as a win con. Yes, we'll target the swamp so that they're all untapped. And now we've got 3 Vigilance Menacey creatures. Ooh, opponent with a mountain off the top. Alright, we've got a little window here before they draw some more burn. Attack our opponent for 9. Actually, we've got 2 Lightning Strikes in hand here. Opponent with a Kumano. That's not going to help much in this situation. We draw Burn Down the House. Well, no need to sweep the board, but we can always add some more devils to it. So even though Kumano does kind of nullify the devil's ability, this should still be enough. I know we have lightning strikes, but let's be honest, this looks a little cooler. Alright, opponent blocks. Down to 0. Good game. Alright, opponent. This looks good. We got 3 lands. A little bit of the early game, a little bit of the late game. We're going to go for it. Opponent's showing us a Windscarred Crag. Not exactly sure what that means in Standard anymore. Got one of our few copies of Duress in hand. Not really necessary to fire that off on turn 1. Opponent with an Enduring Bond Warden. So when that dies, it gives its +1/+1 counters to something else. Well, now I'm intrigued. Okay, opponent's got a Restoration of Iganjo. We've seen that before. Not much we can do about that. Bond Warden, the only thing on the board. Guess we're going to have to take some punches from that for a little while. Let's get land number 3 down here. Let's Duress, just see what's going on. I am unfamiliar with... Oh, okay. There's a Nimpakal. That is a gnome generator. Let's take one of these clay-fired bricks, I suppose. The burn spell doesn't hurt us too much. And let's Tear Asunder Restoration so that they can't just get back the bricks that we just took from them. Ooh, another restoration off the top. Okay. Opponent finds a plains, goes to attacks, brings us to 18. Gonna need another land off the top here for Unleash the Inferno. I get the sense that's probably going to be valuable. Ugh, Molten Collapse. Huh. Well, if we use this now to get rid of the Bond Warden, they have the option of discarding something just to bring it or something else back with the restoration on their next turn. I think what we want to do is just kind of sit tight. Just see what else our opponent's got for us. They don't know about our lightning strikes, but you gotta imagine they know we've got something in hand. Okay, as imagined, clay-fired bricks coming back from the grave thanks to restoration. Alright, opponent finds a plains. Alright, there's the 1000th moon, famous Ixalan gnome generator, and enduring Bond Warden. Now let's lightning strike Pakal here before things get out of control. These Bond Wardens by themselves aren't too scary, but I mean, if you're going to put a creature like that in your deck, you gotta imagine there's the potential for shenanigans down the line. We draw Ziatora's Envoy off the top. Still in need of that 4th land. Really the key number to make this deck work. Tell you what, let's start Molten Collapsing something here. Just to start getting some bodies off the board. Keep things a little bit more manageable. Not too worried about restoration flipping over. As long as we can draw this land, we can hopefully use the excess damage from Unleash the Inferno to take care of that. Although, that might be... the Forge actually might be a better target for that. There's land number 4. Now we're talking. Let's see. So excess damage. We can destroy something with the casting cost. So tell you what. If we do 4 to the Architect, that leaves 3 excess damage. We can hit the Forge. Wow, that feels nice. Been messing around in Standard recently, and it feels like there's so many enchantments and artifacts. Really wanted to throw 4 copies of this card into a deck. Alright, well, opponent's doing work with these Bond Wardens. We're down to 11. We still need lands. Alright, so the Kiln is kind of like Wedding Announcement. Sort of. Let's go Expensive Taste, thanks to this Decadent Dragon. I'm really just looking for lands. Oh, and we got some. Alright, let's go... Let's go with the Plains, I guess. Although then we're going to have to wait for Bombardment. Yeah, let's just go with the Peaks. How bad can it be if we take 2 more from the Bond Warden? Wait to lightning strike a little bit. Okay. Well, opponent's starting to build up a little bit of a board here. We might have to address this before we get Bombardment down. Let's do damage with Burn Down the House. Try to clear that away. Oh, well, speaking of which, there's wedding announcement. Okay. Just putting all of the token generators together. I see what you're getting at, opponent. All right, well, let's go for Arcane Bombardment. This feels like a good time. There's a bit of a delay for our opponent to generate tokens with the wedding announcement. And they've only got one on the board plus a Voltage Surge in hand. Ouch. That's a good draw. That's what? Ojer Tak. Deepest Foundation. So opponent makes 3 tokens off that wedding announcement instead of just 1. Okay, well, let's try to address this. Let's go into the fire first. We've got Unleash the Inferno in reserve for the Ixalan god. We pick up Lightning Strike. Let's point that at our opponent. If we had picked up Burn Down the House there, we would have had enough to get rid of Tak. But now, as it stands... Yeah, let's just hold on to it. We've got the 4 mana. This is an instant. We just gotta calm down. Okay, another copy of Anim Pakal, Thousandth Moon. Alright, well now is the time for Unleash the Inferno. Let's see what we can pick up off of Bombardment here. Alright, some burn. I guess we could use Into the Fire for some more card draw. And Lightning Strike on the Gnome Generator. Yep, let's Into the Fire. I kind of like both of these things, so let's just go no cards. We get 1 anyway off of Into the Fire, even if you don't do anything. Alright. Gnome Creator is down. Unleash the Inferno works. Turns Ojer Tak into a land. But it still ends up with a token. Alright, let's let's go Riveteers Charm here. Just to keep activating Bombardment. Okay. Opponent fires off a Torch the Tower, I guess. Let's go Lightning Strike. We can Into the Fire. Keep those things. Alright, so we pick up a Haunted Ridge. We could play this Envoy to the board, but I'd rather keep some instants available. We're at a bit of a fragile life total at the moment. Opponent just draws a land. Well, in that case, let's go Tear Asunder. Get rid of one of these enchantments. Let's use Riveteers Charm for the exile, and opponent scoops it up there. Alright, good game. Okay. Well... it's a bit expensive, but we're going first. It's basically cheating in Magic. Opponent starts off with a Lunarch Veteran. Let's go Sulfurous Springs. The Ocean Frontliner. That plus the blue and white land makes me think we're going to see some soldiers, perhaps. Well, I suppose if they play anything bigger, we've got Unleash the Inferno to blast that and then use the rest on the frontliner. Although now that there's a wedding announcement on the field, we could definitely target that. We draw Riveteers Charm. Let's play this Haunted Ridge. And I think we can wait and do our stuff on the opponent's turn. Give them less information. Ooh. Myral Shield of Argive means we got to fire this off before that card hits the board. Otherwise, we won't be able to cast it. Punt narrowly avoided by yours truly. We get to take out Wedding Announcement and the frontliner. Alright, let's go Riveteers Charm on Sacrifice mode. Get rid of Shield of Argive. Leaving our opponent with just the Lunarch Veteran, few cards left over in hand. Opponent unearthing the frontliner. It feels like they're scrambling for some extra damage. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm no veteran soldiers player, but maybe you want to wait on that until you're closer to finishing the opponent. Ah, I see. Okay. That makes sense now. Opponent's got a wedding announcement, so if you attack with 2 creatures, you draw the card. Getting bombardment on the board here. Opponent's got a recruitment officer. There's some soldier enablers. We got a Harbin on the other side. Alright, well this works out pretty well. Let's do burn down the house. Kind of guarantee we stay alive. We get Inferno off the top of, or should I say off of Bombardment. Pick off this token. Point the rest at the wedding announcement. Feels like we're burning out these enchantments a little bit. That's kind of nice. Opponent's got Tranquil Cove. Resolute Reinforcements. Alright, that's a good way to start building the board back up. Down to just a Duress and a Riveteers Charm for us. Let's Duress our opponent. See what they got going on. If they had to destroy evil, I imagine we would have seen it by now, but you never know what we can grab. Okay, opponent's playing out a Zephyr Sentinel. So that's going to let them bounce the reinforcements back to hand. Makes the Sentinel a little bit big. We get Burn Down the House under Bombardment now. And no enchantments for the Inferno. Alright, let's go Burn Down the House on Devil Mode. We will Inferno the Sentinel. And finally, Duress happens. Opponent with double make disappear. Wow, we snuck that bombardment in just at the right time. Opponent would have had the disruption for us. Tragedy. Alright, they block with the token. Fire one at the opponent's face down to 25. Okay. Well, we can kind of play around this make disappear now that we know about it. Keep some mana open. That'll keep our opponent from countering a key thing under bombardment, perhaps. Let's play Riveteers Charm, end of turn, and exile some cards off the top of our library. Give us a few more options here since we're kind of running low on stuff. Alright, Bombardment pulls up a Riveteers Charm. Let's do it again. Why not? We got Burn Down the House here. Let's make a whole slew of devils and point an Inferno at that creature. We can point the rest of that at the frontliner since that's an artifact. I do like how Arena just does it for you if there's one. Okay. Opponent scoops it up there. Good game. Alright, there's our opening hand. Okay. Let's go with that one. Opponent's starting us off with a black and white mountain here. See, now that's the Monastery Swift Spear I know and love. Good old Kanzatark here. I still have not opened any fetch lands from the few Khans boosters I've opened. I've mostly just been trying to put together some timeless decks using the few wild cards I have remaining. Luckily, they're not absolutely necessary. Kind of a luxury. Let's get our Proving Ground going here. Opponent with a pretty quick start. Imagine we're going to take a pretty big punch here if they've got a spell to go with these creatures. Okay. Adversary. No Monstrous Rage from the opponent. This could be very good. Or slightly disastrous. Let's go for the Into the Fire here. Oh, and it just flies right through. Oh, that felt great. Opponent with the Lightning Strike. Yeah, just too expensive to play in reaction to our Into the Fire and pump up the team. We lucked out a bit there with that one. Let's see what our opponent's got left over to... well, all right, apparently nothing. Good game. All right, well, sometimes you just get the right situation for the job. Let's keep this. We got a nice Into the Fire in case we hit another aggressive deck. Play out Ziatora's Proving Ground. Alright, opponent black and red in a Deep Cavern Bat. Been seeing a lot more of this one lately. It's been making it into some, I guess, higher tier decks, you would say. Temporary discard, I would say. Alright, let's just pass. So the bat can be super annoying. It can take your best things, or your things that would stop the bats, and they just kind of ping you to death. I was facing a, Orzhov black and white deck earlier that used some bats to pretty good effect, in addition to all the removal that those colors provide. It's like just enough where they can sort of pressure the opponent with bats. Okay, well, into the fireworks. I was going to say the nice thing about the bats, though, is if you can deal with them, you just get your stuff back. But then again, you know, the opponent doesn't have to invest too much into it either. Let's try to stick this Envoy. I don't think it's really going to be hanging around. It's got such a bullseye on it. Preacher of the what? Preacher of the Schism, Death Touch. Oh, this... I kind of thought this was made for Commander, but... At any rate, Death Touch can't stick around. I really kind of want to use our Envoy since it survived the turn. Let's play the Proving Ground. Let's go Tear Asunder with Kicker. Exile the Preacher. That will allow us to attack with the Envoy. Let's see what we got on the top here. A land. Alright. Well, it just comes to hand at least, even though we can't play it. Shielded the Apocalypse. Well, that's going to ding us for 2 life here. Alright, I think... Alright, let's play the Sulfurous Springs. Let's go Riveteers Charm, sacrifice the Shielded, please. And let's go attacking. Haven't seen the bombardment yet, so I think right now we just sort of tempo it up, try to clear the way for the Envoy, and see if we can't ride that to victory. Envoy is essentially drawing us a card every turn, too, which is kind of nice. Yeah, let's keep Decadent Dragon up. I was thinking for a moment about Into the Firing and just drawing some cards, seeing if we can find a bombardment, but, you know, we're good with this plan for now. At least I think we are. Opponent's got a Geological Appraiser doing some discovering. Finds another Preacher, so they're going to be able to play that for free. Board up to 2 creatures. Let's use the Decadent Dragon's Expensive Taste. We find a Geological Appraiser off the opponent's deck. Lots of Unleash the Inferno in hand. Let's play their mountain. How do we want to do this? We could Into the Fire, at least clears off their Appraiser. And then I suppose we could use one of these Infernos to clean up the Death Touch creature. Let's our Envoy get in the attack. I mean, that's kind of the game plan for right now. We pick up a Rebuild the City off the top. That's going to be good in case the opponent gets to deal with this Envoy. Oh, nice find off the Appraiser. Liliana of the Vale. Very good.
Happy to help, but I'm taking the
Yep.
credit when we win.
As expected, they make us sacrifice the Envoy with Liliana. Let's play this Swamp off the top. Let's go with the Geological Appraiser. Let's spin the wheel. Oh, Lightning Strike. Okay. We're gonna... Yeah, let's Lightning Strike Lily. I don't think they have any way to exile the Appraiser and bring it back. And let's play out this Dragon. Nice flyer here. Maybe we can scoot over for the win. Ooh, another Appraiser. Opponent rolls right into a Go for the Throat. Yep, I'm going to take out the Dragon. Alright, well, we're back to a ground-based slugfest here. Try to dodge some more crazy discover effects from our opponent. Well, opponent's getting pretty low. Let's rebuild the city. Turn some mountains into creatures. And... I suppose we could try an attack here. Hindsight probably should have waited on the rebuild, but I'm not sure if that really changes the behavior. Opponent's got Anoint with Affliction for one of our lands. Okay. They do block. There was a slim chance that we could have got him into Lightning Strike range there, but as it is, we got a couple of menace creatures on the board. Opponent's got a Shieldred. Alright, looks like they're... Alright, they're just passing, so that doesn't gain him any life. We get hit for 2. But I think we should be able to clear the way well enough here. Let's just Duress and just see what's going on. Just a mountain in hand. Alright, well the way is clear. Let's Unleash the Inferno on Shieldred. That leaves not enough things left to block our menacing mountains. Good game. Alright. Bit of a risky keep here, but I'm feeling good. Opponent with a strong start with the recruitment officer. Luckily we draw the color we were missing off the top. Spellbook vendor. Let's... Do we need to do this now? Nah, let's go with the officer. So we will have Lightning Strike up this turn. Let's play that out. So if the vendor decides to put the roll token on itself, we can hit it with Lightning Strike. And I think the officer will fit under that regardless. And yep, they're going for it. Just making them spend a little extra mana. Anything else? No? Alright, well, this all fits neatly under and into the fire, so let's go for that. Excellent. Yeah, that spell also feels like it has more valid targets than it used to. Been feeling pretty good lately. Alright, vendor puts the sorcerer roll token on itself. Vendor been sampling its own wares. Well, let's have it sample a lightning strike here. So they've got a little blue in there. And like most soldiers decks, you kind of have to guess at what counterspell they're playing and whether or not you want to play around it. Because they don't play too many. Let's get rid of this officer while we're thinking about it. Yeah, so it's the question of, do they have Make Disappear, Spell Pierce, or Protect the Negotiators, or even Negate in some cases. Let's play with fire for the Scry. Yeah, we'll keep the Charm. Gives us a bit of a look at the top. Unleash, Mountain, and Riveteers Charm. Sure. Happy to clear some of that off the top. We've got a really top-heavy hand. Okay, opponent with the Valiant Veteran. Another into the fire. Yeah, let's keep drawing here. I think we're sitting right in the middle of a window. And we need to keep moving towards our end game. So we've got our 6th land out of that. Let's just pass. So there's a scenario where if we draw an untapped land, we can use this Duress immediately with Bombardment. Or I suppose if we need to, we can try to keep the board clear with Chandra and then follow up with the Bombardment the next turn. Opponent hits us down to 12 with the Veteran. Oh, we've got a lot of burn down there. Okay, well, there's the untapped land. Yeah, I think this makes sense. We're probably going to pull up something that gets rid of one of these creatures. Let's go with the Duress. Okay, there's a Lightning Strike. Let's hit the Vanguard. It's going to make our life easier going forward with all the targeting we're going to do. Oh, wow. Opponent's got, is this all removal? Prison Sentence? Lay down arms. And Planar Disruption. Let's take the Disruption. I don't think we have to worry about anything else. The Disruption's the only thing that can hit our Planeswalker. If they want to use some of those cards on some eventual Devils, that's okay. All right, Thalia the play from our opponent. Let's just get Chandra on the board. We know their hand. We know they can't get rid of her.
Someone had to save the day.
Let's do 2 to each of these. And now we are clear to get Chandra to either make us mana, double our spells, or even find some more off the top for us. All right, Chandra, what do you see on the top of our deck? What do your keen and perceptive eyes behold? I'll take a Rebuild the City, and that will activate Bombardment, and Chandra will also copy that. So we're going to end up with 6. Let's go with Mountains. All Menacing Mountains. Duress, pulled up by a Bombardment and a Lightning Strike to the face. So we'll take one of those pieces of removal. Let's grab the Sentence. I guess it lets them scry. If they want to make us gain life, that's okay. We'll play this untapped land. And we'll be set up with a Lightning Strike for our opponent's turn. All right. Opponent uses Lay Down Arms on one of the mountains. What do you got, opponent? Ossification. All right, well, that takes care of the lethal damage on board then. However, we do still have Chandra and Lightning Strike as a backup. Let's go with the strike now. Chandra's going to double that up. Bombardment picks up yet another Lightning Strike. All right. No need to duress. There's nothing in hand. Good game.